Welcome to Are You Chemistry GCSE Ready? This playlist takes you through loads of example questions and guided solutions for every single topic in your chemistry GCSE. So it's a perfect way for you to test your chemistry knowledge. If you feel like you need a quick review or you just want the ideal revision companion for these videos, then make sure to download my free chemistry GCSE revision notes. I've linked them in the description below. Or if you're ready, let's dive straight in.
The atmosphere. So what are the main gases in the modern atmosphere and how abundant are they? So you should know this breakdown where we have our most abundant gas is nitrogen at 78, roughly 80%, but you might need to be a bit specific. Oxygen, 21 to 20%, noble gases like argon, helium, about 1%, and then carbon dioxide about 0.04%. And also that you have some water vapor and some methane as well. And make sure that you do refer to it when you're talking about the gas as water vapor, not as water. Okay, then how has the atmosphere changed over time? So what processes have led to the changes in the composition of the atmosphere? So the idea is that originally the atmosphere of the Earth was molten or thought to be molten because of a lot of volcanic activity, releasing a lot of CO2, a lot of water vapor, some ammonia and methane as well. Then as the Earth cooled down over time, that water vapor condensed, and that's how you got your oceans forming. Then you get the carbon dioxide, which is then getting dissolved into the oceans and effectively then gets trapped in sedimentary rock. So you're reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And then to be able to explain how oxygen was introduced, those plants that could photosynthesize evolved. They took in carbon dioxide and they released oxygen as a result of their photosynthesis. So the greenhouse effect and climate change. What is the greenhouse effect and how does it work? So greenhouse gases absorb long wavelength infrared radiation emitted by the Earth, essentially trapping heat energy in our atmosphere. Let's break that down a little bit. You have the sun that emits electromagnetic radiation, and that hits Earth, and it's short wavelength radiation. The Earth then absorbs that radiation and re-emits some radiation as longer wavelength waves. Some of those get passed straight out to the atmosphere, back out into space, but some of those get absorbed by the atmosphere, by these greenhouse gases, and then re-emitted in all directions. Well, one of those directions is back towards Earth. So this is the idea of like this insulating layer and it trapping heat in our atmosphere. That leads to an increase in our planet's temperature. And what can we do to stop this effect, minimize this effect, and to help stop climate change? Well, we need to reduce the emissions of these greenhouse gases that are causing this greenhouse gas effect in the first place. You can avoid using fossil fuels, so either using renewable energy or using hydrogen fuel cells, or you could just use less energy. Not always possible though, so alternatives are important. The other thing is another one of your greenhouse gases is actually your methane, and that's reducing livestock or farming because that releases a lot of methane as well.
Just before we go into the tips and tricks section, if you do want some extra advice to getting that grade 9 for your GCSE, then why not download my free 20-minute exam success guide? Just click on the link in the description below. I'm going to give away all of my best advice and secrets and completely for free, so why not?
Okay, tips and tricks for this section. Yes, when you're talking about water, gaseous water, just make sure you call it water vapor and not water. And then honestly, this topic is mostly common sense and factual recall. Make sure that you've done the mind the gaps and have all the factual recall, but don't be afraid to use your common sense when you're discussing things about how to prevent climate change. It probably covered in your geography and a little bit in your physics as well, so those other subjects should help.